Hello, I'm Nadine and a very warm welcome. So today we are making a yummy pumpkin pie and I will show you how to avoid that dreaded soggy bottom. Your pastry will be crisp and flaky and the pumpkin will be soft and perfectly spiced. And this is no ordinary pumpkin pie because I'm going to show you how to make it really pretty. Okay, so first step is the pastry. You just need a few simple ingredients. I have some all-purpose flour with some salt, some unsalted butter, and this is cold butter, and iced water. With pastry, you want everything to be nice and cold. So we'll start on the next step, but before I do, I'm gonna have these dessert recipes and pretty presentation ideas here every week. So please subscribe, like the video and hit the bell. Okay, let's start. Okay, so we add the butter and we have to rub in the butter into the flour. You can use your hands, but you can also use a pastry blender like this, and that's all you do. Or you can start off with a pastry blender and then use your hand to finish off. And they should look sort of like breadcrumbs when you're done. So this is how you want it. You can kind of still see the pieces of the butter, but they're dispersed within the flour. This, whenever I make pastry, it makes me nostalgic because my mama taught me how to make this when I was just a little girl, and we spent a lot of time baking together. So after this step, you're going to add the iced water and the dough will start coming together. So we add a little bit at a time. So I'm starting with about 3 tablespoons of water, and we are going to hydrate this dough, and you add more as you need. It'll start coming together like it's forming clumps, but it's still too dry, so we will add some more. And with pastry, you don't want to overwork it at all. You don't want to develop the gluten. You want it nice and flaky. So I just kept adding a little bit of water at the time. You don't want too much water, and then it just starts coming together like this. Now I'm just going to split this in half and cling wrap it like 2 discs and put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. We've really stressed this pastry out, so it needs to rest and relax in the fridge. Okay, so our pastry is out of the fridge. It's nice and well rested, and we are going to roll it out. So a great tip for you guys is to roll out your pastry between 2 silpat mats. These are really great, and you can easily smoothly roll out your pastry. It won't stick to the rolling pin or the surface, and you won't be adding too much flour and making it dry. These really are the best, but if you don't have these, you can use parchment paper or wax paper. It just makes life a little bit easier. I'm using a square pan, so I'm going to roll this out in a square shape. So I'm using a 9-inch square pan with a removable base, but you can use a round one if that's what you prefer. And I've rolled the pastry out a little bit larger than the pan, and we're just going to ease it in. So the best way is you just lightly dust it with some flour. And lay it on like this. And then just kind of lift it up and ease it into the pan. And make sure you go till the edges. Then we will just dot this with a fork, because what happens is that when the moisture from the butter evaporates, it releases steam. So we kind of are making baby vents for the steam to escape. And we do the sides too. Now I'm just going to pop this in the fridge for 15 minutes to let it rest a little bit. So the pastry is nice and chilled, and now what we will do is we are going to par bake this. Par bake is when you partially bake your crust to give it a bit of a head start. So once you put the filling in and it's fully cooked, it's nice and crisp underneath. So this is the secret of not getting a soggy bottom, the dreaded soggy bottom. So what we do is we just take some parchment paper, and we're going to add some pie weights to it. These I have some ceramic pie weights. These are great. If you don't have them, you can use dried beans or rice or something like that. So we just put these on in the center. And actually you need more than you think you will need. You want it to go up the sides of the pan too. This way your pastry won't puff up when it bakes, and it will retain its shape. Now this goes in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, and then we will take the pie weights out. Put a light egg wash on it, which is just 1 egg beaten with 1 tablespoon of water, and then we'll bake it for another 5 to 7 minutes just to dry it out, and then we'll be ready for the filling. Now let's make the pumpkin filling. This is super easy. So all we do is just whisk the eggs. Then we will add our pumpkin puree. Then we add our sugars, light brown sugar, regular sugar, and our spices. So I have cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg, and a little bit of salt. You know, a nice addition, if you're a fan, is you can put some ground cardamom in it. It makes it very fragrant. But if you're not a fan, you can skip it and keep it classic. Okay, then we will add the half and half. So in a lot of traditional pumpkin pie recipes, it's made with evaporated milk. But I find that with half and half, it's a little lighter and fluffier. So I prefer this. Now we're going to set this aside. You can bake it as is, just pour it into the pie crust and bake it at this stage. But stay with me because we are going to make this pie look very, very pretty. Okay, so I'm excited about this part. So, this pumpkin filling that we prepared earlier, it goes in the pastry. And then what I did was I rolled out the second bit of pastry dough that we had, and I rolled it out in a square and just cut this triangle out. And what we'll do is we will cover half of it with the pastry. Just like that. And give it a little pinch on the side. And now we will put some egg wash on this. Very gently. And what I did was, with the rest of the pastry, I've cut out some flowers and leaves and some pretty butterflies, and this half that we've covered with pastry, we are going to cover it with flowers, and it'll look so pretty. Look how pretty! I just love the look of this. So I filled it with flowers, some leaves, some little bonus butterflies, and this is going to bake in the oven at 425 for 15 minutes. Then lower the oven to 350 and another 30 minutes. And you know when it's done when the pastry turns golden brown, and if you put a little toothpick in the center, it should come out fairly clean, and so just a slight jiggle. Okay, let me put this in the oven. So it is out of the oven, and look how pretty that looks. So it's nicely evenly browned, and what I did was, in the last 15 minutes that it was baking, I just put a piece of foil on the edges so that they don't brown too much. Now this is obviously gorgeous as is, but I'm going to add a little bit of color and paint it a little bit, just to make it extra pretty. So we will just add a little bit of color just to enhance it. I have some green here. It will just make these pop a bit. And this is luster dust, so it has a slight shimmer to it. And I'm going to give a little bit of pop to the butterflies. This is a copper color I chose. I can't wait to eat this. Let's try. And here the pastry, it's nice and crisp. Look at that. Mmm. So yummy. So this can be perfect for your Thanksgiving table or any dessert table. It is such a gorgeous pie and super yummy. I will put the full recipe on my website nadineali.com. If you make this, please send me pics. I really love to see them. You can tag me on Instagram. I'm very active over there. And please remember to subscribe, like the video, and hit the bell. I really hope you share this with your loved ones. Until next time, your pastry will be crisp and da 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 and da da.